sure that everyone can actually see the screen and hear me talking. So if you could please just raise your little yellow hands just so that I know that you can. No worries. Awesome, guys. So we will keep you on mute just for the duration of the webinar, just so we don't have any background noise. But once we start to finish up, we'll have some time for questions and answers with Carly. So if you have any questions, you'll be able to have the opportunity to ask them. Okay, no worries, guys. I'll hand you over and we'll get started.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Sally. Morning, everyone. I am Carly Evans from Kuoni Group Travel Experts. I'm the country manager based in Sydney for outbound groups from Australia and New Zealand. I am excited to announce that we recently became a preferred supplier partner with Travel Managers. So hopefully this webinar this morning will help give you a better idea as to how we can support you with your group requirements and also to help you grow that segment of your business. Kuoni Group Travel Experts is a fairly new brand. It was created early November 2012 as a result of an amalgamation with Kuoni, which has been in operation since 1906, purchasing GTA, which incorporates TravelCube in this market. So essentially we are the group's business unit in conjunction with GTA and TravelCube, which you probably use quite often for your hotel and sightseeing and transfer bookings. So operation since 1906 started by Alfred Kuoni over in Switzerland, who essentially was selling tickets to the peaks of the Swiss Alps for tourists. And now we have become a global operation, operating some 50,000 groups every year globally. So very big organisation, and essentially we can cater to almost any of your group needs. Some of you may be wondering what actually constitutes a group. The answer, I guess, very simple, is a minimum of 10 adults as a general rule of thumb. However, for the USA, hotel bookings require a minimum of 10 rooms. Sometimes there is room to negotiate on that, so if you're not sure and maybe you've got a minimum of 5 rooms or 10 adults and you're wanting to book hotels and services for the USA, please do come through and ask us, and we will guide you as to whether you may need to book the hotels as FIT, perhaps via TravelCube, and then we handle the services for you as a group. There is also a minimum booking value of $1,000 Australian for a group, and we are unable to book just entrance fees only, so it must be with a minimum of a half-day sightseeing and a guide. So anytime you've got 10 adults or more, please come through and speak to us, as we will need to treat it as a group for you. As far as the destinations that we cover, we almost service the world, with the exception of a few. So our biggest market is, of course, UK and Europe, followed very closely by USA, Canada and South America. Middle East, we tend to do a lot of stopovers and some pre-post cruise business in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Asia tends to be city packages as well as extended touring. Australia and New Zealand we do service, however not the remainder of the South Pacific Islands, and we can assist you with Africa. As far as the types of group arrangements that we can assist you with, again, this is almost limitless. So really, whatever the requirements are for your group, please come through and ask us. We can assist you with accommodation, airport transfers, coaches, whether that be local transportation, so local coach within the city limits, or a long distance coach for an extended touring itinerary that covers multiple countries. We can organise private shore excursions, so perhaps you might have a cruise group where they're looking to tailor something in each of the ports of call just for their group. We have tour escorts to provide coordination for the group from start to finish, as well as local guides who are specialists and knowledgeable in each destination. We do contract some ferries for groups, for example, P&O ferries in the UK, ferries between Croatia and Italy, as well as around the Greek islands. We do have some cruise options there for smaller groups. We contract rail services for groups. So that includes the Eurostar, TGV, Trenitalia, some rail journeys throughout Japan as well. And we do now have a lot of options for interactive workshops. whether that be for dance groups, groups interested in food and wine and culinary experiences, language lessons, farm visits, technical visits, agricultural farms, and so on. We have so many different itineraries that we can assist you with for a group. So again, we don't have set tour departures. Every itinerary is tailor-made to your specific group. However, we do have quite a large database of sample itineraries. So if you are looking for some inspiration or ideas to assist your clients with preparing their itinerary or perhaps to promote in the market, please come through and ask myself or the team, and we'll be happy to send through some ideas for you. We do a lot of special interest itineraries, particularly garden tours, quilting and culinary tours, battlefield tours, pilgrimages, pre-post cruise, and student groups. With student groups as well, we know there are only certain hotels that will accept students. So again, we've got a list of those to make sure that we have the process as efficient as possible when we're providing you a quote, but typically the hotel we're offering we already know will accept student groups. And if any of you are focused in the MICE market, we do have access to those arrangements for corporate groups, such as gala dinners, themed activities, and so on. So as I mentioned, if any of you are in need of any group ideas, these are just some of the examples of itineraries that we have in our database. So come through and ask us and we will send you through some ideas. So many different options for groups, but really it's only limited by your imagination or by the request of the client as to what we can create for your group. And the advantage of that comes from us having offices in nearly 30 countries around the world. So each local office is responsible for contracting for their respective region, for hotels and services, and providing on-the-ground coordination for the group whilst they're travelling. I'm not sure the makeup of yourselves today as to whether some of you may already have existing group business or some of you are wanting to start to promote groups and to break into that market segment. However, I thought I would share with you some ideas of how you can source your group business. And again, come through and speak to myself and the sales team, and we're happy to meet with you one-on-one to discuss your ideas and requirements in more detail. But some of the main avenues where you'll find group business would be via community associations, Probus groups, Rotary clubs, perhaps common interest groups, bands, dance studios, and so forth. Also schools. Now schools are obviously quite difficult to get your foot in the door, but it just takes a little bit of persistence. We do know the Board of Education generally requires schools to provide 3 quotes. So if you are competing against another agent for a school, please let us know and we will try and assist you with the most competitive offer, but also offering the best value for the school and matching their request. You can also source group business via networking, so you may already be very active in the community attending business networking morning meetings by promoting via your newsletters on a regular basis to your clients, but also suggesting to your clients that you can assist with groups. Sometimes your clients may not realise that they can organise a group by yourself. How best we suggest that you service a group business is to ensure that you clearly understand their expectations and what they want to experience whilst they're travelling, as well as to get an idea of their budget. I think if we can have an idea of the budget at the time of quotation, we can ensure we have the best opportunity to convert from a quote to a booking for you if we make sure we work within that price bracket. So qualifying the group is very important. Our sales team will contact you to discuss your request at the time of receiving it. And ideally for yourself, it would be best to have one group leader, so an appointed contact with whom you liaise with on a frequent basis to obtain any updates, coordinate payments, and so on. Our operations team, once we get to that stage after your booking goes ahead, our operations team will contact you with a timeline as to what needs to be completed at what stage prior to the group departure. So we will help you out with that coordination. And one thing that I do want to mention, some of you who are not currently servicing group business may be thinking groups are too hard, they're too much work, and it's going to consume too much of your time. And I want to assure you that Kuoni Group travel experts are here to assist you on a local level to try and alleviate some of that pressure from you. So essentially we can become almost your one-stop shop for ground arrangements, and so long as the group is well managed throughout and that we deliver whilst the group are travelling on the road, it certainly will result in repeat and referral business that will continue on and on. So why partner with Kuoni Group travel experts? Some of the key points are up here, and whilst I don't want to go through every single point for you, I do want to highlight a few of them. The first thing, as I mentioned, is that we have offices in over 30 countries around the world, so we have local expertise and local destination knowledge. We also, operating 50,000 groups a year means that we have a competitive edge in terms of our buying power. So you can be assured that the rates we give you will be the best value for the total package for your group. Now, a little bit different to perhaps booking with TravelCube for FIT, for groups we offer you rates as net, which means that you're in complete control of your margin. So if you understand your client budget, you make sure you capitalise on your profit margin. As mentioned, we can become your one-stop shop for ground arrangements, and we always put health and safety first, so we're only ever working with reliable partners that do have adequate insurance. And the great thing for you is that we offer peace of mind with 24/7 emergency assistance whilst your group is travelling on the road. So on their final itinerary, they will receive contact details for our local offices, as well as our 24-hour emergency assistance number. So if anything happens whilst the group are on the road, they know that we will be in a position to assist them. Now, typically we would offer you rates as a total package in Australian dollars, even if your group are travelling across several countries. So perhaps they're doing a 25-day extended tour through Europe with rail, tour escort, accommodation, coaches and restaurants. All of that would be packaged together for you, so you get the one rate per person for the itinerary. A few other points to highlight to you as far as turnaround times. Typically, once we receive your request, we would contact you on the same business day or the day immediately following if we receive your request later in the day. As far as providing you the offer, for a city package, I would say you can expect the offer within 2 business days, sometimes faster. And for an extended touring itinerary, typically we would ask to allow up to a week for us to provide the offer to you, because extended itineraries tend to be more detailed and we do want to take time to make sure we get it right for you initially. And also sometimes it's great to have input from our local team as far as suggestions to add into your itinerary to make it more exciting and enjoyable for your clients whilst they're travelling. We are in a position, because we contract a variety of hotels from 2-star to 5-star, we can vary the standard of accommodation throughout the tour to suit your group's expectations and budget. So as an example, if your group are travelling through Europe, let's say, and they want a cheap and cheerful hotel in city centre of Milan, so perhaps a 3-star there, and then the next night they go to Lake Como, but they want to really splash out and have a nice 5-star hotel, that is possible in the same itinerary. And that's because each itinerary is tailor-made to meet the individual group. We, as mentioned, only offer the ground arrangement, so you will need to source separately the airfares for the group. However, we do have some cruise contracts, but that is typically, as I mentioned earlier, only for some ferries and small ship cruises, example around the Greek islands, Nile River cruising. So otherwise, for all other ocean cruises, you would need to source that separately yourself, but we can assist you with any ground arrangements you might require. I should mention that group rates and conditions may differ from FIT rates. As an example, in the USA for groups, we must prepay the resort fee, all the taxes and mandatory porterage, which is not always the case with FIT rates. However, you'll typically find that group rates are still quite competitive with FIT rates, but offer greater flexibility for your clients. At the time of offering a quotation, we don't check the availability of all of the hotels on the offer, with the exception of the USA. And the reason for that, as you can appreciate, we do receive a lot of quotation requests with operating over 50,000 groups a year. So if we were to check availability of every hotel for every quote at the time of quote, we can't guarantee that it's available at the time the group go ahead, and it would take longer in the process. So therefore, we'll provide you an offer based on our group contract rates, and then the availability is checked and secured at the time you advise us to proceed. The deposit required is typically a total of $1,000 for the group, and that's required only after all of the hotels are confirmed for the group. So once you give us the go-ahead when your clients are happy with the quote, then we proceed to secure the hotels and then invoice you the total deposit. So overall, the deposit is fairly minimal because, again, if you think that a group is a minimum of 10 people, $1,000 divided by 10 people is only $100 per person. To summarise the process for you, you would send through a group quotation request to us, which usually is received by email. We have a dedicated sales team who will contact you to qualify the request and take action on the quotation process. They are always there for you as a backup to provide follow-up and ongoing support and answer any queries you may have. Our sales support team will prepare the quotation for you, provide the offer, and do any requotes as necessary. There are no charges for requotes and amendments to the quotation, so please speak to us any time that you need to revise the offer. Once you advise the group are happy to proceed, our sales support team will go ahead to confirm the hotels and secure the allocation of the rooms as per the configuration you require. And as I mentioned, once all the hotels are confirmed, we invoice for the deposit of $1,000 for the group. Once the deposit is received, our sales support team will then pass your file over to our operations team. At that stage, our operations team will prepare to commence booking for all of the services, including tour escorts, restaurants, coaches, local guides, and finalise rooming lists and meal choices for you. Operations will also invoice for final payment and provide you with the final itinerary and assist with any additional coordination required whilst on the road. So what are your next steps? How can we assist you further? What we do have, as I've mentioned before, a very large library of sample itineraries. So if we can provide you any inspiration, ideas or assistance at all, please don't hesitate to contact us. Additionally, we have a summarised overview of Kuoni Group Travel Experts, who we are, destinations we service, the process and what we can assist you with. We have a Europe map, which includes driving distances and times, as well as locations of each of our offices throughout Europe. We have a touring coach brochure, which provides you information on Wi-Fi that's available on our coaches, the difference between a standard coach and a luxury coach. I also should mention that over 90% of the coaches that we contract are less than 3 years old, so you can be assured of quality for your clients. As I said before, we do service the MICE market as well, so if you specifically service that market and have any requests, we can forward you a copy of that brochure. We have partnered with Crescent Trading to service the Muslim travel market. So there's a brochure that outlines how we can support you with special restaurants, entrances and hotels that cater specifically for the Muslim travellers. A cruise brochure providing ideas for pre-post cruise accommodation and packages, as well as private shore excursions. So if you'd like a copy of any of those tools to assist you further, please do let us know. So how can you now reach us? Our central email address is groupsales@au.kuoni.com. I would ask that any new group quotation requests are sent through to that email address, or you can call us directly if you'd prefer to discuss your ideas over the phone. Our corporate website is also up there as well if you'd like to understand more about Kuoni Group Travel Experts. We have 3 outdoor sales staff, so Leanne, who is based in Sydney and services New South Wales, ACT and Queensland. Natasha, who services Western Australia, New Zealand and New South Wales, also based in Sydney. And Kira, who is based in Melbourne, who services Victoria, South Australia and Tasmania, and then myself. The images across the bottom of the screen, some of you may have dealt with us before, so just in order of appearance is myself, Carly, Country Manager, Leanne, Sales Executive, Natasha, Sales Manager, Kira, Sales Executive, Mona, Sales Support, Chloe, Sales Support, Andrew, Sales Support, Satya, Operations Manager, Romina, Operations, Kim, Operations and Matt, Operations. So we'd be delighted to assist you and answer any queries you may have regarding groups or any new requests that we can assist you with. So please do come through and have a chat with us. Overall, we would be delighted to help you grow your group business, and we can't wait to partner with each and every one of you. I'm also excited to say that Kira, our sales executive based in Melbourne, will be attending your conference in Adelaide at the end of this month, so next weekend. We are actually sharing a booth with Travel Cube, so please make your way over and introduce yourself to Kira, and I'm sure you'll see her around at the gala dinner as well. So once again, I'd like to thank you so much for your time this morning. I really hope that this presentation has been of great benefit to you, and if there's any queries that you may have, any follow-up that we can assist you with, please come through and let us know. I will now open up the floor to any questions, so please do go ahead and ask if you would like to clarify anything with me.
No worries, guys. So if you've got any questions, if you could just raise your little hand and I'll take you off mute. So Gina, just taking you off mute if you have a question. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Can't see anything on. Michelle, do you have a question?
Yeah, hi, it's Michelle. Can I please clarify for Europe how many was a group booking? I know you said USA was different.
Yep, so Europe is a minimum of 10 adults. However, there are occasions where we can assist you with mini groups for extended itineraries. So general rule of thumb, 10 adults, but if you've got anything less and it's an extended itinerary, then you can have a chat to us and we'll see how we can assist you best.
Thank you.
Great, thanks Michelle.
Okay. And Gina, your hand's gone back up. Do you have a question, Gina? I've taken you off mute.
Hi. Oh, I just wanted to know how many days or weeks should we make the booking for a group? And when is payment due?
So to give you an idea at the moment, we are actually in a position where we can quote you through to 2017. So where we don't actually have the contract rates currently, we are able to estimate based on existing rates. Otherwise, we also can assist you with short lead groups. Ideally, we'd like a minimum of 2 weeks before group departure, but if you do have something that's last minute, we will try and help you out.
Thank you. And when the confirmation is made, how soon do we have to pay for the group before it arrives in the destination?
Okay, good question. So once you receive the hotel confirmation and the deposit of $1,000 is paid within the 5-day period, the final payment is typically required 6 weeks prior to the group departure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Gina.
Is it negotiable? Because if it's like a group and you're servicing corporate, sometimes the process of payment takes a while before departure, going through different process?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, there are certainly situations where we will look to be more flexible for you. So if you have a special request from the client or if we need to review the payment terms, please let us know on a case-by-case basis and we will try and work with you to support you on that.
Thank you.
That's okay. Thanks again.
And I've got another question from Doina. With school groups, do you organise the risk assessments that the Board of Education require?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, Doina, we do actually service a lot of student groups and we only work with reputable partners. So for example, hotels that we know will accept student groups, partners, for example, coach companies that have adequate insurance, restaurants that we know are suitable for student groups. So if you have any special requirements that you'd like us to provide you additional information on, we're happy to support you and provide you that as well.
Okay, Tanya, I'll just take you off mute. Tanya, if you have a question.
Yeah, can you hear me? Hi, it's Tanya here.
Yes.
I
Hi.
just wanted to know if I wanted some samples of wellness tours. Do you have any examples of wellness tours? Like spa packages?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Is there any particular destination? We do have most of those sample itineraries for Asia. Would that suit you or is there something else you've got in mind?
Yeah, mostly Bali and Thailand.
Yeah, perfect. No problem. I'll send that through for you.
Oh, fantastic. And also, do you have anything for Jordan?
We do actually. I just got an update on some Jordan itineraries only yesterday again. So I'll see what I've got there that might match the wellness focus for you and send that through as well.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Great. You're welcome. Is it just wellness in Jordan or pilgrimage?
Maybe both. If you could send me both, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks, Tanya.
Martine, you have a question?
Yeah, hi. Carly, if you can send those to me as well, that'd be great, that information you just talked about. But I also wanted to know minimum groups for USA. What did you say that was?
So typically for the USA, the hotels will require us to provide a minimum of 10 rooms in order for them to offer us group rates and conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have an instance whereby you've got a minimum of 10 adults but you won't reach 10 rooms, email us the request anyway or give us a call and we will direct you as to how best to service it. And that may be that you would have to potentially book the hotels as FIT, but we handle the services as a group for you.
Okay, rightio. Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Martine. Okay, Michelle, do you have another question or is your hand just still up? I've taken you off mute. Michelle?
Oh, sorry, no. My hand's still raised, is it?
No worries, that's okay. Okay. No worries, guys. Well, that looks like we've answered all the questions. So thank you so much for your time and coming in, Carly. And thank you so much, everyone, for logging on to the webinar. Yeah, and I hope you have a good afternoon. Take care, guys.
Thanks, everyone.